you know what? I don't need this about her. This is Sadia Perez. When I first met her, she was just going to high school. She goes to high school down the neighborhood here at LaGuardia High School. So not only does she have all those other responsibilities that everybody else has, but then she has to schlep to Yankee Stadium, or I could say schlep here, it's New York. She has to get, all the way to Highbridge Voices, which is not far from Yankee Stadium. And she does this with that whole schedule, and in addition to that, making time for her caring and supportive family. So she's a senior, and she's gone to that school here, and I leave it to Sadia to tell you about herself.
If I had a quarter for every time I've been told I was too hard on myself, I'd probably be able to pay for my own college tuition, plus my choir conductor's student debt. Well, I don't have those quarters, but it's pretty hard not to feel like an outcast after growing up in a small neighborhood in the Bronx called Highbridge. Surrounded by Spanish-speaking neighbors, hip-hop, foul-mouthed classmates, and churches, I was born in an environment in which I have never felt comfortable. I'm a non-Spanish-speaking Puerto Rican whose father covers all the finances on his own, who isn't a fan of popular music on the radio, who doesn't curse, and who is not religious. Basically, a needle in a haystack. It wasn't long until the consequences of being the odd one out hit me. It brought years of bullying, seclusion, doubt, and harsh self-criticism. One thing that guided me through this minefield, however, was music, more specifically, singing. Singing was therapeutic for me, as a way to step out of my comfort zone and grow as a human being. I had always been quiet and had trouble speaking my mind, but singing was a way for me to express myself. And so I would first and foremost like to thank my parents for always supporting me in my musical pursuits. They always encouraged me to try my best at everything I did and to do the things that I love. One way that they did this was by allowing me to attend Highbridge Voices. When I joined Highbridge Voices in the 4th grade, I knew I wanted to sing, but that was about it. I could never have imagined myself on my way to a career in music. Being in this program for the past 9 years, I have received many opportunities to do what I love. I have traveled to places I've never thought I'd been to. I'd be to. And most of all, I perform in these places. Even though I still felt out of place at times, music helped me cope. It was one of the few things that kept me going and brought me happiness. My other love is Japanese culture. I've been taking Japanese in school, and I have a goal to someday visit Japan and maybe live there for a while. Last year, I was able to have this experience for 2 weeks. No, I didn't go all the way to Japan, but I was fortunate enough to be able to attend Concordia Language Immersion Camp Mori no Ike in Minnesota. Knowing that I was interested in learning Japanese, Ms. Clementi suggested it to me. It seemed like only a dream of mine until I was sponsored by Mr. Deneen to attend the camp last summer. It is an experience I will never forget. For this, I would like to thank both Ms. Clementi and Mr. Deneen for making this dream come true. I would like to thank Ms. Cutler for helping me realize my potential this year as a singer. I would also like to thank Mr. Lanzetta for helping me with SAT prep, various essays, and of course, the college process. I'd also like to thank his father, another Mr. Lanzetta, and Ms. Galvan, who tutored me for the SAT. I would like to thank my fellow choir members for singing with me year after year, Ms. Nikita for listening to my silly high school stories, and of course, Mr. Covington for always asking me, "You work tonight?" And then saying, "Oh man," if I wasn't. I would especially like to thank Ms. Lim, my voice teacher of 4 years. Throughout my time at Highbridge Voices, she has been a huge inspiration for me. I still remember the first voice lesson I had with her. I was very nervous and quiet, but she saw something in me. And because of that, she pushed me harder and harder each year. I will carry these memories with me forever, and I will always look up to her. Thank you for believing in me, Ms. Lim. Most of all, I would like to thank my sister, my biggest fan and my best friend. If there's one person who I know loves me and my singing, no matter what, it's her. In fact, I know I'm loved by her more than I am loved by anyone else, and that love is mutual. It's going to be tough to be apart from her when I go away for college, and I don't know how she'll survive without the spontaneous live performances she asks me to give whenever we are together. Speaking of college, starting next year, I will be attending SUNY Potsdam, and I plan to study music education at the Crane School of Music. Music is so important. It has helped me so much, and I hope to share this with other musicians someday. Although I may be going 6 hours away, I will never forget where I came from. How could I ever forget the very things that have paved the way to a successful future? My family has been the backbone, and every experience I've had at Highbridge Voices and LaGuardia High School have only strengthened my resolve to use music to make a difference. Thank you.